Boyd, Texas. Wow. Nice. Hi, Cindy. Los Angeles. Nice. Good to see you all. Nice to see you. Let's go ahead and get started. Is that okay with you, Karen?
Absolutely.
All right. Ladies, just a quick introduction. My name is Stacy Fritz. I'm one of the patient advocates and also the host of Food for Thought. Again, I have the pleasure of having Karen Schrum from Remission Nutrition on our webinar today. She is one of the fabulous oncology nutritionists at Remission Nutrition, and I cannot stress how lucky we are that we get to spend a little time with her today. Our topic today is really floating around the idea of nutrient dense foods. So, we're going to get started in just a moment, but I want to remind us that this is an interactive experience in that if you feel comfortable coming on camera, please feel free to do so. If you want to ask a question, two ways. You can put the question in the chat, and you can also use the little icon at the bottom of your screen and just do a little hand raise. There's so few of us on the call today. We could also come off mute and just say, Stacy, I have a question, and we'd be happy to stop what we're doing. So last thing I want to tell you about housekeeping here is that we love all of your questions, but what the hour together is about is a generic topic that we're going to be covering today, the nutrient dense foods. So if you have individual questions about your specific diagnosis or questions about nutrition related to your diagnosis, of course, we'll still answer those. But what I'd like to encourage us to do is wait until the end. Karen and I will both give you our contact information, and you can reach out to Karen directly. You can reach out to me, and we'll make sure we get those specific questions answered at a different time. So without further ado, welcome, Karen. And we're going to get started on this topic of nutrient dense foods. So the way I like to start, Karen, is I make zero assumption that we all know what the heck we're talking about. So I'd like to start with when you say nutrient dense foods,
Mhm.
clearly most of us can figure out that's full of nutrition, but in a oncology format for nutrition, what do we mean by nutrient dense foods?
Yeah, yeah. Well, with everything that we put in our body, what value are we getting from that food? So we can get really stuck in old eating habits that we had prior to diagnosis or adolescent years of a lot of snacks, a lot of sugary food. But what we're today is about is that food is love. And this is a way you can self-love. And are you doing everything you can to support your health, improve your health with what you eat? So, we know what empty calories are, that bag of potato chips, right? There's nothing that you're gaining from that bag of potato chips versus the foods that provide vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients way above and beyond a macronutrient scenario, but literally, are you eating your vegetables? Are you eating your vitamins? Are you eating
Mm.
your minerals? And are you gaining a health benefit that you need? If you have identified an area of your body that needs support, are you eating food that support that bodily system?
Oh, great explanation. I love it. So you brought up another vocabulary word that I'm just the moderator, and I just like to make sure that we're all on the same page. Use this word macronutrient. Just in a very drilled down format, can you just tell our listeners what you mean when you say macronutrient?
Absolutely. So macronutrients, think macro, think larger picture. We are getting calories from macronutrients, and there's three of them: proteins, fats, and carbohydrates.
Mm.
Then, if you drill down from macronutrients, there's micronutrients. So, what are you gaining from those? Not calories, but you're gaining vitamins and minerals. Okay. And then, if we take it a step further, which is what we're kind of more going to dive into today, is the phytonutrients, which are these compounds that are found in plants that provide some health benefit to the individual.
Nice. You know how I try to remember the phytonutrients? I think of the word fight. So the word phyto or fight, the things that we're eating that are helping fight
Yeah.
the things that we don't want to be taking a look at, right? And so that's a great explanation. Let me pause for a second and make sure that Retta and Sandy and Cindy have zero questions before we go on, because this is a really, I say it every single time, I geek out on the stuff, but this is a really great episode, I believe. And I love the fact that we're going to get an opportunity to see you cook in that beautiful kitchen. So Cindy, Retta, Sandy, any questions for us so far? Are you good? Just give me a thumbs up. Everybody good? Okay, perfect. So what I'm hearing you say, Karen, is nutrient dense foods have the best impact on our health. Take it from there and tell us like where do we even start if we're not sure whether or not we're eating nutrient dense foods, or we're not sure about these different categories of micro and macro and then the phytonutrients. How would you kind of guide us down to maybe making some healthier swaps or identifying where those empty calories are?
Yep, absolutely. First, I think you need to assess what you're eating. Everything on your plate, is there a nutritional value or benefit that you're gaining from everything there? It's easy to not see. So journaling, taking pictures of your food, some form of for you to get a glance at what you're eating on a regular basis, because we get into habits and we don't even notice. So if the chocolate is filtering in, or if the potato chips are filtering in, or the fried foods, be honest with yourself and say, am I gaining anything from those possible empty calories that are sneaking in?
I love that. And let's take a step further too. I'll add into our listeners. I have a 3-day blank food journal. Here's what I'm going to say about what Karen says. We think that we know what we're eating during the day, but unless, of course, we're tracking that, and I'm not saying for forever, but a 3-day glimpse of what we tend to kind of lean towards, whether or not it's a picture taking, as you mentioned, or using the document that I'll put in the show notes. What I like to do is that, just don't try to change anything. Get it down on that paper, and then use somebody like Karen to go ahead and highlight where it's not about good or bad. It's more about where can we up level what
Yeah.
we're eating. Sometimes it doesn't have to be something like, oh, I'm trading in that potato chip for something worse that we think that it doesn't taste as good. Sometimes it can be actually the opposite. But I think what you're saying is step number one is be aware. So really taking a hard look at those, what I call the BLTs, the bites, licks, and tastes of what you're eating, right?
Absolutely. When I was a young mother and I was making a lot of kid food, I would say, "Oh, I'm not eating that for dinner," but I was taste testing as I was eating it.
Yes.
And that tablespoon and then another tablespoon, I had to be really honest with myself that I was actually eating that stuff. So, yes, be honest with yourself, become aware. And then the next thing is why? Why am I eating these foods? And if I am having a pot of coffee versus a cup of coffee, if I having a bag of chips versus a handful of chips, that you need to understand that there could be a reason why you're having certain cravings and not an off switch. So I don't know if you have that image handy. If not, I can share my screen. It's a quick little view of what could be going on. Do you have that, Stacy?
So the document that you
It's
shared.
there's a picture called Cravings and Why.
Yes, let me pull it up. You keep talking and I'll pull that up for us.
Okay. So a lot of people may not understand and they may beat up on themselves that, oh my gosh, I cannot stop eating a lot of chocolate every day. There could be a reason there. There could be a nutrient deficiency. And maybe not, maybe it's just habits, but I think it's a good time for you to evaluate that and see if there is a reason why.
Can
So
you
this
see it?
image,
Can
yep,
you
I
see?
can see it. Thank you.
Perfect.
This image will be in the show notes as well, so you'll be able to see it clearly if it's too small for you on the screen. But this can give you another aha moment of why you may be craving cheese or why you may be craving chocolate. For today's purposes, I'm going to focus on chocolate. And this one is pretty well known as well, that if you are craving a lot of chocolate daily, it could be that you are low on magnesium. So if you wanted to take this a next step further, you can do a micronutrient test, right? Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. There's a test out there via blood sample that will tell you if you are indeed deficient in some vitamins and minerals.
Let me
So,
stop you there for a second, because of course
yeah.
you locked in on every single, I'm being very generic, but every single female's like crutch with the chocolate. I'm teasing. But if we wanted to do that blood sample test, is that simply going to our doctor and asking for a test to identify whether or not these are deficient, these vitamins and minerals are deficient inside of us?
That's an awesome place to start in hopes that insurance covers the test. If doctor orders it, chances are insurance will possibly cover it for you. There are, people like me who can order stuff like that. Usually a high quality one has to be ordered by a practitioner of some sort. So it's not a consumer based purchase. But obviously, if we're just taking and focusing on magnesium, magnesium is really easy for a doctor to add into an existing panel that they are running for you. If
Nice.
you wanted to have the broad spectrum, every vitamin, every essential fatty acid, every mineral, then that's when you want to look at a micronutrient test.
Got it. Interesting.
Yes. So, magnesium we know is in chocolate, which is why there's that connection in our brain. But pumpkin seeds are lovely, artichokes are lovely. You can get magnesium in higher forms. For instance, even the LMNT electrolyte powder has a very substantial amount of magnesium in it. And remember, magnesium is used for over 400 bodily functions.
Mm.
And there is a high deficiency rate in the United States with this mineral. So it is worth looking into, especially if you think you're having these cravings and not really understanding why.
And based on the integrity of the soil, is that correct? That we have that low magnesium tend to have that problem across the board in the United States?
Yeah, and if you just look at the foods, possibly those empty calories that we're eating, that we're just not gaining magnesium
Mm.
from that, it can be low.
So are you saying, let's just say that you're craving the chocolate. Are we to assume, based on this chart, perhaps maybe including a few of these, the pumpkin seeds, the artichokes, whether or not it's a supplement, recommended by your practitioner, that perhaps maybe the craving will be satisfied in a different route beyond just a chocolate, eating
Correct.
chocolate. Nice.
Yep. If
I like
you
that.
if you provide the magnesium to the body, then in theory, the craving should lessen or go away.
Mm,
So give your body what it's truly trying to communicate to you, and allow yourself, don't beat up on yourself anymore of, I can't stop. There's something
yeah,
wrong with me. We don't want that. Again, food is love. Food can be love.
I
And
love
if we
that.
look at that and self-love on ourselves, this is something that we can do.
Karen, I mean, I enjoy all of the times that we spend together, but one of the things that I really appreciate about you is this demystification of food should not have this much power over us in any realm. But in this case, looking at food as not as a good or a bad thing, but a nourishing, is this pushing you towards healing, or is this stealing from your balance, the internal terrain? And making the statement that food is love, there's just so many other little pieces to this. How we view the food that we're eating, the emotions that come along with it. It's one of those things. It's not like I'm not trying to make it trite, but it's not like alcohol and drugs that, we can kind of give up. We have to eat. So reframing the narrative around enjoying foods because, in part, because it supports, you feel better when you eat better, you
Right.
know?
This is an example. I had a high school friend who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she called me and she said, "You will not believe what I just did. I just went and got a bucket of movie popcorn and a red soda pop, and I sat there and felt sorry for myself and ate that." And she was atoning basically to me. But those are extremely empty calories.
Yeah.
And she knew better, but understanding that those were her comfort foods and
Mm,
how do we change what her comfort foods are, helping her understand that what was she gaining from that. I love what
mm,
you just said about the stealing or the healing,
yeah.
right? It's definitely a stealing situation.
Yeah.
But helping her just recognize that emotional attachment that she had and then going, how can I love on myself? Truly, truly love on my,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's keep going. Some of
Okay.
these I'm so interested in, but I do want to pause for a minute and just make sure that we don't have any questions from our listeners to make sure that we're all on the same page. What Karen is talking about for those of you who are just hopped in is we're talking about cravings as it relates to empty calories and then also the other side of that is nutrient dense calories, making sure that we're making decisions based on things that are promoting better health for us, promoting healing for us. And so what she's going through is the document that you're looking at and on your screen are the swap outs that if you are craving X, Y, and Z, we just talked about chocolate, then maybe perhaps we can choose what's underneath that also contains that mineral or that vitamin that would satisfy that craving that is a little bit better. Do we have any questions so far? I want to say welcome. I see Rebecca on and Natasha on and Joy and Jen and Luann. For those of you I have not had the pleasure to say hello to, welcome. I'm speaking with Karen and she's going to keep on going and talk to us a little bit more about these quote unquote swaps.
And there's just one more I want to touch upon this, and everybody will get this in their notes, but the ice one, the connection to iron, iron is a toughie with a cancer diagnosis because iron is a mineral that is connected to cancer cell proliferation. So we're always really, really monitoring iron, making sure it doesn't go to a high oxidative state. But if you are craving ice, that's interesting, right? And what I love about this one is that liver is listed under it. Okay.
Mm,
Gross, yuck. But what I want everybody to understand that a grass-fed, grass-finished liver is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on this planet. So if you are recovering from a surgery, if you are anemic, if you are dealing with some low red blood cell count, this is a beautiful place to be with liver, in maybe in the form of liverwurst or Braunschweiger if it's more palatable, but it is a very healing food. It has a ton of vitamins and minerals in it and healthy fats and amino acids. So I love that this chart had it included, and I just wanted to
yes.
call that out that it is a very healing food.
Karen, what about like a cast iron skillet? Does that count or is that not something
Yeah.
that
Yes. Typically, we don't suggest having an iron infusion or taking an iron supplement. Getting iron from a food or cooking in a cast iron skillet, your body knows how to absorb that properly. Okay. So those are safer places to be on trying to address the anemic scenarios from a food perspective
Mm.
versus going and over supplementing or being on a supplement too long or doing the iron infusion.
So this chart is fascinating to me. I'm looking through this, and of course, my eye gaze went straight to sugary sweets as we enter into what I call the danger zone from Halloween to after the first of the year. And I always ask the questions that I believe that our listeners are thinking that might not be comfortable asking. And
Right.
the question I have for you is, and I'll go first. I am powerless and I do not eat them, Karen. You do not have to correct me, but I am powerless over a bag of jelly beans. Like that chewy, gummy, sweet, terrible, like awful. But as a kid, that was the go-to. It wasn't chocolate. And I'm looking at the list of replacements and I'm thinking to myself, so I'm the girl that's like the Mike and Ike's, the Swedish fish, all the terrible for your teeth, awful. And I don't eat them anymore intentionally because I can't control myself around them, right?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, I don't know that I would be satisfied immediately if I'm choosing tomatoes and onions and lentils and nuts and seeds. So my question, I'm being a little funny, but my question to you is recognizing that we have the craving and
Uh-huh.
where do we get started with slowly pulling things away? I mean, again, hard argument on a lentil versus a Swedish fish. You know what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying. There's a couple things going through my head. One is if you're fighting with tests, don't guess. Find out, are you low in chromium?
Yes,
Are you
yeah.
low in tryptophan? That may give you enough of a, oh shoot, this is me moment.
Mm,
Okay. Add in these foods while you're lessening your sugary craving to see if that is starting to help. And then also feel good that you're replenishing some of the
yes,
nutrients.
yes.
This third thing that I am really jazzed about right now are continuous glucose monitors.
Me too.
Consumers can get these, okay? So if you are not diabetic or if you don't have a metabolic disorder, you can still benefit from this. I was at a conference. We all got a 10-day demo, CGM, and it was shocking what was spiking my blood glucose. It was so powerful. Um, Sometimes maybe more powerful than journaling your food.
I
Okay.
agree. But Karen, let me stop you for a second because this is so important. I am so glad that you brought this up because I did ask for this with my practitioner and I got to pay for that and wear it around for a couple of months and I too found it super fascinating. So I want you to go slow. The
Okay.
word is you just referenced it as CGM, but that stands for continuous glucose monitor. It is for the folks that are listening, this is the thing that you are wearing on the back of your arm. No, it does not hurt. But I want to ask Karen, let's just say that the people on the call want to do this,
Uh-huh.
which I highly recommend everybody do it because it's really fascinating information. You end up finding things about yourself that you didn't realize that
Yeah.
you just go to your practitioner and you say, what?
Let's say you want to better understand your metabolic health and you were wondering if you could have a continuous glucose monitor even for a temporary period of time. The answer is typically yes, I'll give you a 10-day to 14-day sample and you can wear it. You download an app. It connects to the monitor that's on your arm. And let me tell you, and Stacy, you can probably vouch for this as well. It doesn't even hurt.
It doesn't.
It's as thick as a piece of hair. So you don't even feel that going into your cellular level. Um, it takes about 12 hours to acclimate itself in your body, and then you'll start getting accurate reads on the app. But if you can't get that through your doctor, there are consumer purchased ones that you can get. Dexcom, Dexcom is a company that is now selling to consumers. I believe they sell it by the month and it's about $100 a month. So if you did that for 1 to 2 months, just to better understand, but it is the best accountability buddy that I have experienced personally,
Yeah.
because let's take your Swedish gummies. I took the first 3 days of my 10-day and did whatever. So I would understand what spiked my glucose, what made it plummet. And then from then on, I tried to do this. You're going for the steady level of energy on a daily basis versus the spikes that we are currently on, the glucose roller coaster that we experience. And I tried those Smart Sweets, Swedish fish,
Yeah.
say 3 grams of net carbs and sugar on the package.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. It's such a processed food that was the largest spike that I received.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you mentioned two ways now. You said ask the practitioner if we can have the 10 to 14 days temporary continuous glucose monitor, or we can purchase a la carte. One would be Dexcom. Is there any other brand that you are aware of in case our listeners are interested?
I oh there are some out there, but I think that most of them require a doctor's
Good. Okay.
participation in getting.
We'll put those in the show notes. And just to recap what we're talking about, why would we ever do that? We are taking a snapshot out of time and we are looking at how in real time food is impacting our blood glucose levels. And as Karen mentioned, the goal, if there is one is awareness. No, not everybody's the same. So let's just say, pasta is a really good example. pasta did not impact my blood glucose level as much as I like say my husband, you know what I mean, when he went through that. So different foods impact our bodies differently, and the idea is that we know where our food how our food is impacting us. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as Karen mentioned, what we're looking for is this steady state of our blood glucose levels. Am I correct, Karen? Did I hear you correctly?
That is the
That is
goal.
so
Yes.
this is not a forever tool. It just allows us a deeper like look inside the body and see specifically. It's not enough. It would be the same example as if we were looking at a chart and we were looking at different foods and their glycemic level, right? And we are just taking a generic food and then assigning whatever category, but it doesn't take into effect how it impacts us personally, right? So this glucose monitor allows us in real time to see what foods are doing what to our bodies. And again, where the aim is nice and steady. We don't want those highs and we don't want those lows. Did I get that right?
That's beautifully said. Yes, we talk a lot about bio-individual. So we
Yep.
can read the books, we can Google searches, we can do all the things, but really it comes down to customizing a plan for the individual. What do they specifically need? Bio-individuality. And that's
Nice.
important. Carrots don't affect me. Carrots affected my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
So same thing. You have to know that in order to be metabolically healthy.
I love that. So
Yeah.
let's pause for a second because that was a big, huge kind of sideway turn here.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we have no questions from our listeners. And so far, what we've talked about is these nutrient dense swap outs for cravings, and then a way to kind of take a look at it a little deeper. So, any questions about either of those? Anybody have any experience with the glucose monitor that they want to share? Everybody knows all of it. I love that. All right, let's keep
Okay.
going.
Okay, so Stacy or somebody, please give me a food that you would like to find a substitution for.
Ooh, let them go. Cindy, I'm going to call you out. You're smiling. Turn off the open. You can either put it in the chat or come off mute. Tell us what your a food that's a go-to food for you. There we go.
Nope. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I've lost my picture. Hold on.
Mhm.
What have I
We
been a
can
while?
see you.
No, but oh, there. Okay, no. Is that working? Hold on.
Just yell out yell out the name of the
Oh,
food.
there.
Just
I don't know. I have got with my cancer, I'm already off of dairy, and then we did food allergy or sensitivity. So now I'm mild to moderate on gluten and eggs. So my eating has drastically decreased in the things I eat. So I'm already making huge changes. Just trying to find, I mean, I eat the green salads and the grilled chicken and the nuts and the berries and things like that. So I don't really have I'm just sitting here thinking, what else am I gonna delete from my
that's
diet now?
okay. You've got it down
I
pat now, right?
I really eat a ton of sweets. Not to say that I don't like sweets. I love bread and pastries and things like
Okay,
that.
let's do that one. Cindy, that's going to be a big one. We're going to do bread.
Okay. Oh, and what I'm hearing, Cindy, a little bit is the glass is half empty, right? Instead of the glass being half full.
At the moment, yes, because I'm just now I had started doing minor things just with the cancer in general, studying on natural ways to improve my immunity, my health, better things to eat in general. But then with these new things, so literally this week is the week that I've gone in and on my grocery list, I'm trying to find gluten free or breakfast is hard for me because I love breakfast, but I can't have breakfast meats. I don't need the bread. Now I don't really need the eggs. I've already cut out the dairy. So I'm trying to make the adjustments to oatmeal and like I said, berries and nuts and things. So it's just an adjustment that's gonna take a little more time to
Good
get
for
used
you.
to, and get the satisfaction of like you were talking about if you're eating the candy, how's the tomato gonna make you satisfied? So it's trying to get the satisfaction of being truly able to eat, because I can do smoothies and things, but I like to eat. I like food that I can actually eat.
Yeah.
So it's just adjusting,
Yeah.
making the adjustment, and but being satisfied with that, where I'm not eating the same, 6 foods
Yeah.
every day of the week. So
Yeah, absolutely. Food should be enjoyment. There's an emotional connection we all have, good and bad, right? Happy times, sad times. So I would challenge you to mentally wrap your head around this. You're not eating eggs, dairy, and gluten because those are inflammatory. Those three are in the top 6 most highly reactive foods that we can possibly consume. So what are you doing? You are lowering your inflammation. We know
yeah,
cancer is an inflammation disease. It sets the party room for these cancer cells to have a party, and we don't want that. So
Mm-mm.
you are shutting down that party, right? So you tell
yeah.
yourself that I am lowering my inflammation. Now, let's be real and say, what can you have? Have you tried alternative low carb breads like Base Culture?
No, like I said, I'm just now starting on the gluten-free changes. I usually eat whole grain wheat is what I normally would eat. I don't eat a lot of even white bread anyway,
Yeah.
but and my sensitivities are, like I said, mild to moderate. So it's not like I have an extreme reaction that I know of. I mean, I haven't done the elimination diet yet because I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
But anything I can do, I feel like anything I can do to eliminate the inflammation possibility.
Mm.
So if I have to give up the eggs, or if I have to give up the gluten completely, at this stage in my life right now, I am willing to do that. Um, just to see if it truly helps me be healthier and keep the cancer, the cancer at bay once it's gone, and things like
Absolutely.
Well
that. So
said.
so I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to make that, I don't want to say sacrifice, but those drastic changes. Um, if
Yep,
it's
I hear you. So, I mean, I won't go into my gluten speech. It's not healthy for anybody. Okay. So you're on the right path of being willing and improving your health and giving your body the health and support that it needs to kill off these cancer cells, right? What it should be doing every day. So you are definitely on the right track. Base Culture keto bread is in the frozen bread section of grocery stores. Okay. I am almost positive that it has eggs. Okay. It's the egg white, or I'm sorry, it's the egg yolks that we're probably trying to eliminate with
Mm.
a food sensitivity. So I am going to send Stacy a recipe for low carb, no egg yolk bread recipe that you could make. It's crazy delicious. It's low carb. It's nothing but quality ingredients. But
Oh, I
there's
can't wait
also
for
this
that.
amazing bakery in New Jersey called Beneficial Bakery. That's their website, beneficialbakery.com. They make everything fresh every week. They take orders only on Sundays and then they ship it out. Amazing stuff. So if you're like, I really don't want something frozen or I don't have time, you could order fresh. So you have 3 options there that hopefully one of them or all of them will work for you on satisfying this transition that you're making to low carb regarding bread.
I'm going to put you on the hot seat, Karen. If we said after everything that Cindy shared, for all of us, what would be a go-to quick breakfast that might be, at least for most of us, acceptable in terms of the anti-inflammatory, minus the gluten, all the things that we discussed?
Yeah.
What is your
Well,
go-to?
the go-tos for me is the keto granola with coconut milk. I have a sensitivity to almonds, so I am always trying to get almond out of my world. Okay. Almond milk, if it's okay with you, is another option there. Taking a coconut yogurt and
Mm.
putting that seed granola on there with some flax seeds and with some, maybe a splash of vanilla extract. Mixing that all in is absolutely delicious. And we're typically talking about plain coconut yogurts to lower the carbohydrate intake. Okay. Their wholesomeyum.com is a beautiful website that has a lot of paleo and keto low carb recipes. They have a delicious blueberry muffin low carb recipe that is a go-to. I'm a fan of make it once, eat it a couple times. So that
Mm,
takes care of me living in the kitchen every day. And then think out of the box. We do not have to eat breakfast food at
that's right.
all. Making a nice pasture-raised chicken breakfast patties and putting that on a bed of arugula, and
Yum.
putting a nice sauce on it, right? The secret is always in the sauce, which we're going to get to in a second. Um, think out of the box. Take your favorite food or a leftover. You made this amazing coconut curry soup last night. Have that for your first meal. Let's just call it a first meal. We don't even need to call it a breakfast.
Love
Okay?
it. Love it.
So there you are, full of opportunity, and that glass will become half full.
Agreed.
Okay.
I'm glad we called you out on Cindy, because you know what? I think you spoke on behalf of many of us, is that, okay, I'm ready to do this differently, but I'm either just getting started or I don't know where to begin. And you guys, let's be honest, it's the consumer is quite confused. You know, they make it very difficult for us to kind of weed through the noise and to find out what exactly is clean, what exactly is green, exactly is keto, what exactly is nutrient dense, and a reminder that we're not all the same. So, as Karen mentioned, almonds, aggravate. That's not a good thing for her. So perhaps maybe the recipe that we give to Cindy wouldn't work. The idea is that be curious. Don't judge on yourself. We'll figure it out. And if you need recipes, there is no shortage between Karen and I on any of these. So what I want to move on here, because I want to make sure we have enough time for your demo. I'm going to put in the show notes the base culture bread, that beneficial bakery. I'm going to put in there the coconut yogurt, the seed granola, and maybe just a sprinkling of like berries, just a couple of berries in there might be okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So this a little parfait, which is amazing, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then also wholesome yum. Did I get all of those, Karen?
Yeah, I think you did.
I just want to make sure. Let's do one more. If there's one more person that wants to shout out a food to throw out to Karen that you need a replacement for, and then we'll move on. Oh, excuse me, Natasha does have one. You ready, Karen?
I do.
Coffee, coffee, and coffee.
Okay,
What
so
about it?
we're eating a pot of coffee. Is that what's
Yep,
happening here?
yep, yep.
Okay. I mean, you can see on that chart, what the culprits may be, right? Some of those may make sense. Some of them you're like, what? Sulfur? I don't understand. So again, you can, there's a lot to do with coffee. Are you sleeping? Just rule out the low-hanging fruit. Are you sleeping? Are you hydrated? Are you supporting your energy with metabolism and your B vitamins and your protein intake? And then look at these ones and go, okay, well, that's interesting. What could you add from that list that is low carb, right? We're putting on our low carb visor and going, all right, well, meat's on here. Sorry, this is really slow or small, and I'm trying to
It was the
zoom in
spinach,
on
the
it.
meat, and the figs, the beans, the quinoa, and the nuts, and the
There you
garlic,
go.
kale, and
Yes.
onions.
Yeah. I mean, beans are high in lectins, so we don't suggest those because they can be inflammatory. But if you look at the nuts, if you look at the garlic and the kale and the onions and the salt and the kombucha, there are low carb kombuchas out there. Throw 3 of these into the mix and see if your desire for coffee is lessened. Okay.
Mm,
Next step is take a cup of coffee, enjoy it, have that moment, and then replace the next cup with some herbal tea or with some green tea or, whatever next step you want to make. Okay. See if it's an oral fixation thing, then you're still giving that satisfaction from having that warm cup of something.
mm.
Okay. But you can do it. Coffee isn't necessarily an evil thing. It can be a diuretic. It can dehydrate you. We want to make sure you're hydrated always. So those are some quick things to think about.
That's amazing. Just really, really great. My go-to for that one, Karen, is I try to keep it to a cup and I use really high quality coffee. But my next drink, because it is for me that warm, especially now with the changing of seasons. We're in Maryland and it feels like a crisp fall day. There's nothing like a mug of something. So what I realized is that I didn't necessarily crave that second cup of coffee, and I swapped it out with high quality organic bone broth. And I put a little turmeric in there, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of coarse sea salt. And the sipping of that does two things for me. First, mentally, I feel like every time I take a sip of that, I am nourishing the cells in my body, and it is just great, high quality liquid protein, right? And so that to me makes me feel good. It's warm, right? But the second part of it is that there's nothing else in it. So it's not only is it satisfying that warmth, it is satisfying a nutritional need, a push towards that as well. So I don't know if that's helpful for you all. Some people, I'm laughing, I'm a little bit smirking because when my brother was on the cancering journey, we tried, I mean, I make a really good homemade bone broth. He just, we were so different. And he was like, this is like the worst thing I've ever tasted. And me, and I'm like, this is like the best thing I've ever tasted. So I'm buyer beware.
Yeah.
It is, if you like chicken broth, I think it's delicious. But if that's not for you, this is really intense with the extra little spices and stuff in it.
For sure. Since we're talking about nutrient dense food, my go-to warm drink, my second cup is this guy right here.
Oh, mushroom.
Okay. Rasa is a lovely company. They're known for their mushroom coffee. Okay. But they came out with this a couple years ago, and it's a turmeric chai latte. All you do is add water, 0 calories. The beautiful thing about this is the turmeric that is in here also has pepper, which helps
Yay.
you absorb the curcumin coming from the turmeric. So I do a French press with this. I make it a fun thing for me. This is my second cup.
Does it have a good flavor to it? I mean, is it like,
Oh,
it's good.
so
Oh,
good. So
listen,
good.
you don't even have to put any notes, write any notes down. I will make sure that all of these with
Yeah.
the link are in them. Thank you for that. I hadn't heard of Rasa. I have Four Sigmatic is the one is that okay too?
Yes, they've been vetted. They're amazing.
Good, good. All
Good
right,
quality.
before she changes into Martha,
Okay.
let's make sure that nobody has any questions. Nobody? Everybody's all good. Karen and I are having our own little like back and forth shopping moment. So
Right,
that's okay.
right.
We're not trying to spend your money. We're just trying to give you the
That's
resources.
right.
So hang tight. So I'm going to pin, and I'm going to ask you all to do this. Oh, we do have one quick question before I tell you to pin Karen. Can you use cayenne pepper instead of black pepper to mix with the turmeric? No.
The answer is no. So black pepper has an ingredient called pepper ring, and that's the compound that helps you absorb curcumin more into the cellular level.
Yep. Yep. Did that answer your question, Luann? Sorry, you can use cayenne pepper and other things, but the pepper with the turmeric and the bone broth that's an important combination there.
Good,
Right.
good clarification there for sure. Okay, so phytonutrients, compounds in plants that help give us benefits to support our health. Okay. So it's important to be working with somebody that says you need X. Okay. Let's just say that your situation is you're wanting to stop the spread of cancer. Okay. We call that angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the formation of new cancer cells. So you may know the word metastatic or metastasis. Okay. Nobody wants that. So there are foods out there with phytonutrients that help stop proliferation, cancer cell proliferation, or help kill cancer cells. Okay. You're going to get a couple of these in your show notes so you know the names of them. You probably have heard of quercetin, right? That's a well-known supplement out in the world. It is known as an antioxidant. It's known as an anti-tumor and anti-inflammatory. Okay. So we love quercetin, food sources of quercetin, garlic, celery, Brussels sprouts, arugula, cabbage, kale, onions. The highest vegetable or food that I just listed off with quercetin is yellow onion.
Really?
Yep. This should be in the kitchen. Okay. Easy in soups, easy to saute, easy in the crock pot. I'm going to I've sauteed some mushrooms, and I'm putting mushrooms and yellow onion on my salad today for lunch, which I'm gonna pseudo make for you guys. But think about a food that you can truly benefit from. Yellow onion is one of those.
So Karen, as you're
Apigen-
setting up for your demo, let me just tell the listeners, in Karen's little frame there that has her picture in it, if you hover your cursor over top of her picture, there's 3 dots. And if you click on those 3 dots, if you scroll down, there's like the 5th choice, it says pin. I want you to click that, and then it will highlight Karen. You don't want to miss her cooking demo. So let's pause here real quick, and you take it away. And we have about 16 minutes, Karen. So I'm hoping that real-time cooking.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make it fast, but apigenin, I just want to go through a couple of these because I want you to understand that these foods have power for you. Apigenin, also anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-carcinogenic properties, right? We're killing those cancerous cells. Induces apoptosis of various cancer cell linings. Yes, let's take care of that. Fresh parsley, celery, basil, oregano, chamomile tea. So I'm going to be making a soup today that has a lot of these foods, and I'm going to be demoing that really, really quick. But the last one I'm going to mention real quick is luteolin.
Say it again.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it.
luteolin. There we go. Cancer cell apoptosis, which is death, inhibits cancer cell proliferation, inhibits metastasis, inhibits angiogenesis. Oh my gosh, we need this, right? Food sources, our friend celery again. Here it is. Green pepper, olive oil, peppermint, thyme, oregano, and rosemary, Italian seasonings. So celery was listed in every 3 of those.
Wow.
Are we consuming celery on a daily basis? It's there. We can get it. Organic. Farmer's market would be the best, right? To get the most potent, the most fresh, because celery does diminish in these over time. So the freshest is better. But are you putting these in your salad? Are you putting these in your soups? You know, a lot, I get the question a lot about celery juice. No, we want that fiber in that celery. So whole, cooked, raw, but whole. You know, don't take away that amazing fiber that you need for gut health. And fiber slows down any carbohydrate that's in your body.
Awesome. So just to recap, Karen, what she is discussing, it will go into the show notes. These are those phytonutrients that are very important to kill off those cells, right? Those cancer cells. And under each of those will be a list, well, not only what it is, but a list of foods where you can get that property from that mineral or that vitamin that is going to support that. So you don't have to remember any of them. And I think she's going to take it away now and show us how to do that quickly and efficiently. I can't wait to see what you're going to make.
Okay. And there, you know, lemon is also high in something called hesperetin. It also is cellular death, it inhibits cellular replication, inhibits angiogenesis, metastasis. So I'm going to make you a soup. Okay. I call this my liver love soup because all of these foods also support your liver, which is your detoxification buddy. So we're going to take I'm going to lower my camera a little bit. Boop, boop. Okay. This is already chopped celery and parsley. Okay. So we're putting that in. I'm putting in ginger for yummy taste. I minced up this stuff already. We're putting in minced garlic, which we heard on that list with quercetin. Okay. I'm sticking in avocado because avocado is full of vitamins and fiber and healthy fat. So this is going to give us a creamy taste. And then we're going to squeeze in some lemons for some tartness. All right. Got my little squeezer here. This guy's a little big. Let me get a different one.
So Karen, you have celery, parsley, ginger, avocado, lemon. Did I miss anything?
Did you get garlic?
I did not. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to put in a little salt. Okay. And then I am going to put in my bone broth that I heated up earlier. So this is going to make it hot. All right. So that was besides chopping and mincing, that was the only prep that I did. And then we just blend it and we drink it. Okay, you
My
can add,
gosh, so easy.
sorry, it's going to get loud. So
Go
you can
ahead.
keep doing it. That's it. Drink it.
Oh my goodness. Will you make sure that we get the appropriate amounts, or you just kind of eyeballed it?
I eyeball it and you can decide how you want to change it. Do you want more garlic? Do you want more ginger? Do you think it needs to be thicker with avocado? Listen, I really, if I'm being honest, I hate reading recipes. So I
I love
like
that
to-
about you.
I just make, and then, you know, depending a family member or whatever, they help me. This needs more salt. So I will probably add some salt to this, and then I'll have this for lunch when we're done. But if you don't like the chunks, blend it longer. It's that easy. Okay.
So, Karen, quick question from one of the listeners. They want to know, do you have to eat that right away, or does it last? How long does it last?
You could probably keep this in the fridge for 2 days. Yeah, make a batch of it. I've never frozen it, but I don't know why you couldn't. Everything in there is freezable.
I think I have all of the ingredients on hand. Guess what I'm going to do when it's over? I
Oh,
love this. It's so great. That's
it's
awesome.
lovely.
We'll make
Okay,
sure that we'll make sure
go
you guys
ahead.
have all the ingredients for the soup.
Okay, so the secret's in the sauce. Secret's in the sauce. You can put a lot of nutrients in sauce. You can put healthy fats in the sauce. If you're low on calories, add some sauce to your food. Add flavor to your food. Okay. I have ingredients. I'm not going to make it for things for my salad: purple cabbage, my baby leafy greens, organic, my celery. Okay. That's going to be the base for my salad with my mushrooms and my yellow onion on top of it. And then I am infatuated with tahini. Tahini is ground up sesames. I have it. Here we go. You can find it organic at the stores. You can buy it on Thrive Market organic. But the secret with sauce is you have a fat and you have an acid. Okay. That is what makes the base of a lovely sauce. So again, I'm not going to measure this. I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going for probably 1 to 2 tablespoons of my tahini. Okay.
Tahini is the paste that's the base for hummus, correct?
It is. Yeah. And I have actually found tahini dips in grocery stores now,
Wow.
which I'm so excited about. It was at Whole Foods. Then I'm going to take my apple cider vinegar. Oh, that's not my open one. Hold on.
As you find that, Karen, question was, we saw you put the celery in the soup, but the listener would like to know, did you put onion in your soup?
Not the soup, but it is going to be on the topper of my salad with the mushrooms.
Got it.
Sauteed some maitake mushrooms earlier with some yellow onion. Yeah.
Yum.
Okay, so you mix up your apple cider vinegar to get that mother going, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I put in some, can you see this? I put in some tahini. I put in some apple cider vinegar. I'm going to throw in some salt because that makes everything a little better. This is ground Himalayan salt. Celtic salt is also high in nutrients, nutrient dense. You could put lemon. I usually put a little organic olive oil in here. So really I'm putting in 2 fats to my 1 acid. Okay. But I just like the olive oil. So I'm adding that to it.
So only the people that are listening today are going to understand the show notes when you write in there a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? And we now all know. As you're mixing that, Karen, quick question. Joy would like to know, does tahini need to be refrigerated?
No, it does not.
Okay.
In fact, if you ever wanted to harden it, you would refrigerate it. That's why that dip works that Whole Foods offers, is because it's refrigerated. So it stays kind of more dippy. This is way more liquidy.
Nice.
Like a salad dressing. Okay.
Got it.
You can add water to it. If it's too thick, you add a little water. But again, no measurements tools. I love tahini. It's my jam. It's great for my liver. Liver is something I'm always focused on because I'm a bad detoxifier.
Mm.
I can't get enough of it. So think about the fats in your household. Think about the acids. Acids are like lemon juice and apple cider vinegar. Those are my go-to. Obviously, other vinegars would work. And then your fats could be avocado mayo. It could be tahini. It could be olive oil. Mustard would be an acid. Okay. So what if you took mustard and olive oil and salt and made a really quick, healthy salad dressing with that base?
So
It's that
good.
easy. And you're getting nutrients, right? You're not getting a rancid canola oil dressing from the grocery store. It took me a max of 4 minutes, I think, to make that dressing.
Literally, you made 2 meals in like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I did chop up my salad stuff. My salad's ready to go. You
Show
don't
us,
need
show
that.
us your salad stuff real quick. One more time. What do you have in there?
Okay, so here I've got purple cabbage, which was also listed in those phytonutrients that I listed off a little bit ago. My baby leafy greens have chard, arugula, spinach, and kale, baby. Okay, I got my celery because we all need that every day, right? And then in my pan, I've got some sauteed maitake mushrooms with yellow onion that I'm going to throw on top.
And then that's the salad dressing that you just made.
Yeah, I'm out of broccoli sprouts, but what a wonderful topper. Or throw some avocado on there if you feel like you need more. Pumpkin seeds, magnesium, all of these things are great for a midday giant salad
Karen,
lunch,
we're going to rename your recipe. It's going to be called the Karen Love Salad because food is love, right?
right? And eat to live.
I
Eat.
love that. I will make sure that at least, and I will find a way to put some sort of handful, thumb, like some sort of measurement to it. But I hope you all understand what she's saying. She mixed that up according to taste, perhaps maybe one of those ingredients you like more than the other. But the idea is that we're pulling in those phytonutrients. Remember the word fight, right? That is a way for us to protect ourselves, if you will, right? And I'm so excited about that soup. That looks just amazing. I want to leave a couple of moments at the end to make sure that we don't have any questions. But again, every single time I thoroughly walk away from our time together, knowing so much more, knowing something differently. And I really enjoyed the demo, and I speak on behalf of all of us. I hope that you all did as well. But we have a lot of resources that we can come back to, and this was a jam-packed hour. So let me pause and make sure that we don't have any additional questions. And then I want to tell you how to get in touch with Karen. So nobody's got anything else. We answered the question about the celery, the onions. You know, you don't have to remember any of those phytonutrient names. I'm going to put those in the show notes for you. We have 2 recipes and then lots and lots of resources that I'll find the link to those resources like was it Rasa that you were just,
Yep.
yeah, Rasa mushroom coffee,
Yep.
things like that I will put in the show notes. Natasha says, may God bless and keep you all. You're such a blessing. And thank you for your time and your resources today. That's how I wanted to end, was to say the same thing to you all. And, you know, we try to jam it all in an hour. And sometimes we get away from the fact that we are all so incredibly blessed on both sides, you to us and us to you, that we get to not only work with you, serve you, but also send up all our prayers to you. I mean, you make us better and want to share information in a way that is, I tease, digestible. And what's wrong with having a little fun? It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. This food can be delicious and enjoyable to make as well. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you, Karen. And if you do and you'd like to reach out, the easiest way would be through me. You can find me on the believebig.org website, but my email address is stacy@believebig.org. I will send you straight to Karen, but I'm also going to give her a chance to let her give you your contact information directly in case you do have a pen.
Yeah. All of my stuff, bio information, contact information is at remissionnutrition.com. So remissionnutrition.com. You can find out more about me. You can watch some videos, you can book, you can do all kinds of things. So that's easy to remember if I just give you that.
And I hope it's okay for me to share this as well. We have a tremendous partnership with Remission Nutrition. And if you are somebody is new on the cancering journey or new with Believe Big, we have such a strong partnership that we offer a grant towards working with Karen. So if you want more information about that, again, not at all trying to spend your money at all, because I know sometimes these extra resources, they add up, but it's it's a beginning and a middle and an end is what I say to it. It's not a forever thing, and nutrition is truly that important that maybe just a couple sessions or however you all decide to work with somebody like Karen, I want to encourage you to at least educate yourself on where to go to find that specific customized plan that you may need for your healing. Again, she's just awesome. Everybody there is just lovely, and today was no different. And I look forward to seeing you all in November. And I can't wait to see what our next time together is, Karen. I got a whole 2025 plan, but it's definitely going to include you in the kitchen.
Thank you
I
so much.
love you all and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you next time.